Hi, I'm Jessica and I'll be telling you all about my epilepsy in this documentary. To be honest, I have felt quite nervous about making this documentary because I have been quite in my shell for quite a few years or whatever, and it's kind of hard for me to show people a part of me or a version of me. To be honest, what helps me get through stressful times is I have a lot of people that mean so much to me. I have my grandmother. Sadly, one of the people that I have the most significant relationship with was my grandfather, and he passed. What is even more sad is that he was so excited to watch this documentary, and part of me feels like I'm doing this in his honour. I feel like it's he was the most important person to me. My friends, Joel, Emma, Isabel and Bilal, they are very fun, and it's we make each other laugh, and because I'm the oldest one in the group I can kind of help them really with their work as much as they help me with mine, and I kind of feel that it's a little bit weird being the older person in the friendship group when everyone in the friendship group is younger than you. That is what's really funny. So that's my friends at college, my mum and dad, my friends outside of college, the ones in Watford. They make me laugh and they've always been there for me.
Hello, I'm Martin Hatfield. I'm the Baptist minister here at Kings Hill Baptist Church, and I'm talking to Jess today about her time as a member of our church and about her experiences as somebody living with epilepsy. Hello Jess, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good.
What do you think of me as a person, and what do you think of me like as a person in church?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that's quite a big question, Jess. And so I think it's really nice that we have somebody who is young. You're not quite the youngest person in our church, but you are nearly the youngest person in our church. You're certainly the youngest adult in our church. And so it's really nice for us as a church community to know that we have youth and we have energy and enthusiasm, and we see some of that in you, so that's lovely. It's good that you're very good at being involved in what we do in church in a lot of different ways. I love the fact that you, especially lately, have shown a real interest in being part of our services by reading the Bible, and you've expressed that particularly by reading a translation that actually you have found good to read in modern language that's kind of meaningful to you, and we've been sharing that with the rest of the congregation, haven't we?
Yeah.
That's been good.
I know I've had seizures here at church. Like, apart from that, you kind of already answered. What do you think about that, like, after, when I've had seizures, on how I am?
So, I've always been really impressed, Jess, that you are happy to keep coming back, and you want to keep being part of our church community, and we really want you to be part of that too. So I'm really pleased that you. I remember when after the first time you had a seizure, I remember asking you, were you okay that I kept the church service going? So we made sure you had all the care and attention that you needed at that moment, but the service kept going. We didn't ignore what was going on with you, but we said, okay, that's happening there. That's all right, we're going to keep going. And I think I remember you saying that was what you wanted, and that was good because you didn't want to feel like there was anything.
Yeah.
We weren't making a big thing out of your seizure, but we were carrying on and saying this is something that is regular for Jess, and we can carry on without having to disrupt everything.
I kind of think it's kind of embarrassing that I have like fits anyway, but I kind of think it's embarrassing to have it in public, or like I was kind of embarrassed to have it here.
Yeah.
You carried it on.
I think, and I think I'd always want to listen to what you wanted about that, Jess. And if you ever said to me, next time I have a seizure, I don't know what you might say, but you might say you wanted something different. And I would want to listen to what you were saying, and I would hope that I'd be able to help with what you wanted at that moment. I think that one thing I'd want to say is that actually you've expressed that you feel embarrassed about having seizures.
Yeah.
And I'd want to say that actually nobody here minds that you're having a seizure. Nobody here thinks any less of you for being Jess, because we know that seizures are a part of what you have to live with at the moment.
Yeah,
and we
I
hope,
don't like that.
Yeah. I mean, we hope that one day they'll be much more easily controlled and managed.
Yeah.
Is that something you hope for as well?
Yeah, I hope for that as well, because I really don't like that. I really don't like that.
I'm not surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
So what else can I answer for you?
Oh my gosh, I'm not sure.
I wondered if there's something else I could share with you about. So I what else would I want you to know? I would want you to know, Jess, that we've talked a lot in the past I'm trying to work out how many years ago that just over there I baptised you. How many years ago was that?
I think I was
5?
10 when you first came here, but I think I was probably 12 or 13 when you baptised me.
I think that's probably about right. Yeah, that would sound about right. Which would be about 5 years ago, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and so obviously this church is, that's the official moment where we recognise publicly that you're part of a church community, you're part of following life with Jesus, and you're part of this. And I know that through the conversations we had while you were getting ready for that, you know that Jesus loves you, Jess, for who you are. Yeah. And that actually, any of the conditions that you live with day by day, all of those none of those stop Jesus from loving you. If anything, I'd think it probably means he loves you even more. That actually, in the midst of the things that you deal with quite often, Jesus is still there saying, "I love you, Jess," and I know it's difficult, but I think I'd want you to know that. Really.
Yeah.
And I think the church community would say they love you too. Safe.
I remember someone helped me, and I remember Poppy helping me.
That's right.
And my mum, but I don't remember anything else.
I remember David, who doesn't come very often, but he was here with his wife that day, and I remember him. I think he took his coat off to help you as well, and I think you had a coat either to protect your head and stuff like that. So.
Right. Okay. Okay. They are always there for me. There are a lot of friends outside of college, the ones in Watford. They make me laugh, and they've always been there for me. My teachers.
I really enjoyed teaching you last year. Looking at your questions, I can't imagine, being in your shoes. What that must be like being your age and kind of living with epilepsy. It's a horrible thing, but it's also kind of part of you, and it's something that you kind of have to kind of live with. But it still doesn't make it easy seeing it, really, and I find that kind of quite difficult. My brother-in-law had a collie dog that in its later life that had epilepsy, and it was just distressing, very distressing. So one thing that strikes me about what you're having to go through is you do it with amazing humour. So all power, Jess. All power.
Yeah. As well as the seizures, what surprises you about me?
I think what surprises me about you is that you just kind of get on with it. You don't kind of let it. You don't dwell on it. I mean, I think it's difficult to kind of live your life with it, but you just kind of deal with it. You get on with it, and that's kind of good, really.
What do you think about me as a person?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, our relationship is a kind of teacher-student, and you kind of get on with it and do things.
Yeah.
Really, so.
I wonder what I think of Jessica as a person, but I think Jessica is a very nice person. She's not without her faults, but she's a happy, gregarious person. She's friendly, she's got friends, she likes jokes.
She's got quite a sense of humour, hasn't she?
Light, very sense of humour.
I think she's kind.
She's very kind indeed. Indeed.
I think she's caring.
Yes.
And you can see that in the way she, I was going to say, interacts with their cousins and things like that.
Yes. And it's generally a happy soul, really.
She is.
And helpful.
So, as a child, I think she didn't always find it easy to interact with other children, and was quite a loner, I think, wasn't she, both at preschool and her sort of lower schools. And I suppose when we found out when she was about 12 that she had autism,
Yes.
it made sense of a lot of that, didn't it? That she was perhaps a bit different from other children her age.
And also the fact that she was bullied because of her autism and the way she...
Yeah, that was really hard to...
The way she
to
presented
watch.
herself.
Yeah.
And...
But I guess she's, as we know now, she's been autistic all her life, which is the case with autism. You're born with it. So she's had a lot to struggle with growing up in that respect, I think.
But she's also been very brave with it. She's able to hold her own and,
And I think then, coupled with her autism, then she now has to try and manage her epilepsy, which is quite hard, isn't it?
Yes.
And again, going back to when she was at preschool, that's when she was diagnosed first with a form of epilepsy, which was characterised by absences, wasn't it? So
Mildly
myoclonia. But when, so sometimes we'd catch her just miles away and you'd be talking to her and she just wasn't there.
Yeah.
Other times her eyes would roll right back, wouldn't they? And I think that was part of what gave that original diagnosis. But they wondered originally if it was going to be childhood absence epilepsy, which you grow out of.
Yeah.
But of course it's turned out not to be that, and she hasn't grown out of it. But they did say that she wouldn't have tonic-clonic seizures with that particular diagnosis. So the fact that she had her first tonic-clonic seizure when she was doing her GCSEs
On the 19th of July.
on the 19th of July,
2019, I think it was.
that was quite shocking for all of us,
At
wasn't
6 p.m. we got a shock. 6 a.m. Sorry, 6 a.m. in the morning.
it? Yeah,
And she fell out of the shower.
that's right. I think we got up early because we were going somewhere, weren't we? And she decided to have her shower earlier.
Yes.
And plans went astray then. We ended up in casualty with having called an ambulance.
Yes.
And unfortunately, she's had roughly 2 seizures every month since she was 16.
Since 2019, yes.
So that's been really tough for her, and I think there's been occasions where she's had 1 a week for about a 5-week period,
Yeah.
which has been absolutely exhausting for her and quite difficult to sort of manage different family events and things that where it's happened. And often when she's excited or apprehensive about something can bring on a seizure.
Yes, her stress, isn't it?
Yeah.
When she's stressed about anything, yeah.
But that's just some of it. They're the ones that we can kind of try and understand, aren't they? But it happens anyway. And of course we don't know how many seizures she has that don't manifest as a tonic-clonic seizure. So there's lots of brain activity,
yes.
which obviously affects her concentration and her memory and her retention of information, which has had a massive impact, I would say, on her education, really.
Yeah, and also her social life.
Mm-hmm.
Because epilepsy, is not a nice thing to have. I mean, having seen lots of epilepsy over the years, epileptic fits and what they used to call in the old days grand mal seizures, it never is a nice thing to see. Or when it happens, it's quite a shock, really.
And then when she comes round from the seizure, if it's a particularly bad one, she might be sick. That's not nice for her. She almost always needs to sleep for quite a long time, actually, afterwards.
She remains disorientated and sometimes in time and place, doesn't she, for a while?
And sometimes she's quite feisty and will fight us when we're suggesting that no, she's not ready to get up yet. She just needs to stay down and try and relax for a bit. But
feisty is a part of her normal personality. She's quite feisty. She's quite rebellious.
But it can be quite noticeable, can't it, after she's had a seizure? And her speech isn't normal for her. Sometimes she's quite shouty, isn't she?
Yeah. But other than that, I mean, everything else is pretty normal with Jessica. But I suppose what's normal for us with Jessica is perhaps not normal for somebody else who hasn't got any of those things, or doesn't see any of those things on a normal day-to-day basis, you know.
And I think in the main, she doesn't let it get her down, and she's still striving for, to achieve the things that she wants to achieve. But then there's always times where actually it's really hard, and she does get very low. And I think we've heard her say different times, haven't we, that she can cope with being autistic. It's the epilepsy that is the most difficult for her.
Yes, it's
in terms of interfering with
getting a
things she
job
wants to
or
do.
going somewhere or taking on any sports or anything like that. It's epilepsy, isn't it?
Yeah, because things like swimming now she can't do. She used to like rock climbing and was getting quite good at that, and she's not allowed to do that. She's not allowed to do horse riding.
No.
It's very hard to watch someone you love having to battle with that on such an ongoing basis, and I think she's got a hospital admission coming up for 5 days that they're hoping to try and understand what's going on for her.
So I'm going to John Radcliffe now, and as if you can hear, I can't concentrate. It's very difficult to think about what I'm gonna be enduring, but we'll have a little, we'll see what's gonna happen. So now I've got all this stuff stuck on me and a fisherman's net on my head, so that's fun. And yeah. Okay. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but I definitely feel like this is old-fashioned by the way it is under my, tied under my neck, but this fisherman's net on my head. Really weird. Oh yeah, and check this out. Check this. Oh wait, no, I can't, can I? No. So now I've got all this stuff stuck on me and a fisherman's net on my head, so that's fun. And yeah. Okay. So we'll have to wait and see what happens, but I definitely feel like this is old-fashioned by the way it is under my, tied under my neck, but this fisherman's net on my head. Really weird. Oh yeah, and check this out. Check this. Oh wait, no. So this is day 3 of staying in hospital. It's alright, I think. Just my hand's a little bit itchy, but I think it's going pretty good so far. I slept really well last night, so we'll just have to see what. So I had my cannula. I'm all bandaged up, even more bandaged than before. It's really, I think they overdid it with the bandage, but I guess it's comfortable. Kind of nice. Very comfy. Not so itchy. but yeah. So now I've had that, so I'm getting a new bandage, as you can see. No bandage for now. I will probably, my cannula was coming out of this hole in my hand, and so they're gonna try again and get a new one for me. I actually wish it was just the hand and no more poking. But what can you do? So that's the organisation for today. Cannula. Yeah. So bandage has been changed, and yeah, my hand still hurts. And someone's just come in to take my lunch order, and it's 9 a.m. in the morning. Luckily, I've got a few things with me. I've got my street Bible. I've got Doggle. I've got Uno. Some flashcards and some notes. So hopefully that'll be a couple of things to keep me occupied. Just a bit annoying. I hate feeling like I'm on the outside looking in. Really annoying. Right, so I had a 20-minute nap, and yeah, it was kind of insane. So I think the plan is for today, I do a little bit of coursework, I watch a film while I have my lunch, and then I'll probably do some maths revision. But yeah, I genuinely, that's just a guess. I don't necessarily know how today is going to go, but that's all I can tell you for now, because sleeping without the cap on tonight. Tomorrow is my last day in hospital, and we shall see how it goes tomorrow. But today, I think I'm going to turn in early because, yeah, and these wires are giving me anxiety. So many loose wires. Oh my gosh. So yeah, I will talk soon. I'm now in my pajamas and in my hospital bed. It's really weird. So yeah, I haven't had the video telemetry, but I've got this on, and yeah, it's really strange. It's really strange to be here as well. So I had a seizure earlier, like when I woke up after breakfast. Obviously, I was so...
It must be even more terrible for Jessica to experience it all, isn't it? Because she's the one who experiences the epilepsy and the after effects and the pre-shocks.
I think
and,
she experiences other people's reactions to it.
Yeah.
Probably. I think it's unlikely when she's going through it that she has any knowledge of what's happening in that sense. It's more the coming around and realising, oh no,